Let's see. I guess I'm live. Okay. Man, I look crazy, but guess who's back? Taz, boy. AK, I felt the sauce. Man, it's been a process. I'll tell you that. Um, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm doing it because I want to. And what's the word? I was trying to figure out the right word to say this. I was overstimulated, overwhelmed, dealing with a lot of stuff, and you just sometimes you gotta just do you. Honestly, you just gotta always do you, because you can't help no one else unless you do you first. But what I'm trying to get at was I was enjoying doing the TBI podcast, but life hit me with just a lot of challenges and process, and had to take care of business. You know what I mean? But here I'm back. Um, I was debating what should I talk about. What's hard about having TBI? And I talked about microdosing and all that stuff and help, but I think I want to get realer because sometimes people don't need all the extra stuff. It helps, but sometimes it's good to get the mental aspect of developing things and accepting certain things. And the ultimate subject I want to talk about is accepting change. Accepting change for some people is very hard, very hard. And here's one change for me. I'm in Florida now. I'm not even in Oregon no more. But I'm looking at it as a new opportunity, new life, fresh start, and figure out myself more. Just being more of a lone type of guy because um, sometimes when you got your whole group around you feeling good and the whole vibe, you sometimes get distracted for your life purpose. And sorry if you hear garage noises, but it's the best spot I was thinking for this video. But um, hopefully it goes well. But accepting change, I've been accepting change since I was a little kid. You know, they told me when I was a kid that I would never walk or talk. Guess what I'm doing? I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm running, doing me. But when you hear that as a kid, you don't know what your next move is. Then I was a kid from New York, then went to Texas, and thought, as every teenager, you think you're figuring life out. You think you know everything. You think, "Ooh, I'm the shit. Ah, yeah. Got parents not around. Ooh, yeah." Well, that's how I was feeling anyway. And boom, got jumped. And I was jumped by, let's say, over 10 people, no joke. Bats and, bats and pipes. Sorry to get graphic, but it's the truth. Almost took my whole life out. I should not be here today, but guess what? I'm here. Smiling like a motherfucker, too. Oh! But that was a big change for me. Big obstacle. Like being paralyzed. Went through such a change. I was praying 2 times the bite. He's a known person and going through so many side effects. My mother decided to take me Oregon for a fresh start. It was cooler at that time and all this stuff. And it was a great decision. And I thank her for that. I moved to Oregon. But what I have not accepted yet, it took me years and years and years to figure out. that have this thing called TBI. Took years for me to accept I have different emotions and different side effects. Guess you could say my pride was in my way. And, because I got that Puerto Rican pride, I could say I'm a very prideful man. But sometimes you got to put your prideful self away if you want to reach your higher self. And I do. I'm going to always say this in my videos, you got to find what works for you. And TBI, what sucks about it, everyone has different side effects. It's never the same. But to reach your higher self, to heal yourself, you got to first learn, accept change, that this is your new life. And that could be with anything, any diagnosis that you get. Don't let it define you, but know you have it. How did it take me? Shit, it still takes me some time to think about it. Turned 26 a few weeks ago. A guy when I was 16. It was still one of the biggest changes in my life. My biggest obstacle that I faced in the first few years of TBI that I had, it's hard to admit, but it's just the truth. And if I'm going to do this podcast, I'm going to be real with you. It's anger, high emotions, mixed emotions, feeling up and down, depression, the whole nine. I didn't have peace with myself for many, many years. I had people that love me, but I didn't love myself. I had people that were patient with me, but I wasn't patient with myself. And it took me a hell of a long time just to learn how to fucking breathe, how to step by step instead of overloading myself, Sometimes I still do that, just overload myself and saying yes to projects and doing, and then I'm like, ah! So sometimes you just gotta take it step by step, because if you want to be efficient in life and work or goals and achievements, step by step, not 20 steps at once. Because guess what? You might get the first 15 right, but if you collapse in the next 5, you fucked up. Step by step. And the funny thing, I'm not saying nothing special. It's just more about, sometimes I feel like as human beings we forget to do the basic, cliches, and forget because life is so overstimulating. You know what I mean? People are so stuck on this shit these days, and they forget to discover themselves as human beings. So, one way to accept change is sometimes getting help. I know some people don't like getting help, but if you have a possible chance to talk to a good therapist or someone that as a friend you feel like you could open up to, I definitely recommend that. Finding things that relax you hobby wise. One of them for me was music. Long walks. I love walks. Cooking. It could be anything. You need to do hobbies to accept that you've gone through something that's traumatic, because you're gonna go through the first few years of very intense emotions, because you just don't, it's hard to explain. You just wake up and you just know you feel different. So when I woke up after being paralyzed, right, I didn't even know my own mother, my own sister, my own family. I thought there was some crazy people trying to claim me as their family member, and I was like, get the fuck away. Like, no joke, my own family. Because I forgot pretty much a lot of years of my life just like that. It's hard to accept. And there's still sometimes I have family members be asking me, "Don't you remember Alfredo? Don't you remember Alfredo?" And in my head, I'm like, so it's hard to accept. Like, damn, I lived a life, and I'm going to continue life that I might not remember. That's hard to accept. Um, no, I'm rambling, but guess what? It's my podcast. I do it. um, I have some friends, and people think they're like, "Oh, Fro, you're the homie. You know what I mean?" Guess you could say they look up to me, but I don't know why. I just do me, and I want to tell them, your boy Fro has his own demons too, and my worst enemy is myself, and I feel like that's most people in life. Um, but guess what? I work on it every day. I'm not going to stop until God takes my last breath, because that's life. And another change you have to accept, you know, this one's about to hit a real deep subject. So, what's the word? I've had a lot of people in my life, right? Hate to admit it, but it's the truth. I've been engaged twice. Keyword was. And before I got connected with other people and let them come in my life, you know what? I wish I would have done more, just like how I'm doing it now in Florida. Love myself, get to know myself fully, know my ticks and likes and dislikes before I let other people come in my life, because it would help me more what I could tolerate and not tolerate. You know what I mean? Can't tolerate BS, but let's put it like this: when you have TBI, I guess you could say you definitely don't got that bullshit patience. You just like fuck that shit. Um, my last relationship, it definitely needed to end it, but I will say the first relationship was all my fault, because I didn't get help. I didn't accept my emotions yet. I didn't know how to express them yet. Um, she was a great person now, and at that time, I was an asshole in the sense I was pushing her away because I was scared that someone was loving me even when I couldn't love myself yet. I blew a good opportunity, and I can admit that as a human being. So that right there is two, major change I realized in myself. You got hit the real stuff, the hard stuff that's hard to talk about if you're gonna be real with yourself. Um, I've chilled out way more, a lot more in my life, but took a lot of failures before I succeeded, if that makes sense. And that's okay. That's how you get wiser, and that's how you learn. Um, Another change I learned is that it's okay to forget. With TBI, you're gonna learn. You forget sometimes. It sucks, but so you just keep your notes on you, and if you can, document, like kind of like I'm documenting right now, so you never forget. We live in a video age. I'm not a big fan of video stuff, but at the same time, it's a blessing to do, because you'll never forget when you want to look at the past. Um, Another thing. Life, when you're meant for greatness, in my opinion, is gonna throw you way more obstacles than a normal person. It's okay to be normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But who defines normal these days? You know what I mean? I think we all have greatness in us. It's just sometimes we're scared to jump into that greatness. And that's okay. But Do you want to reach a higher life, or does chill life and then catch your grave? You know what I mean? Some people choose that, and I have no issue with that. But me, I want to reach my higher self. But to reach my higher self, I had to work on my inner core and before out. Um, took me a long time to be confident the way I am. Um, the way I build that confidence is showing myself, giving myself hard obstacles to show myself that I could do it. Like working very intense different jobs, um, making goals for myself and at a special certain time and getting it done. Um, doing heavy training and showing myself I could do it. Because I went to a person who couldn't lift a gallon of milk after my surgery, to benching hella weight, to couldn't was literally paralyzed and I could do 15 miles walking. You make that progress because you stay self-determined. No one's gonna help you better than yourself, dude. That's the facts. No one. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be rich, poor, wherever. The number one person that's gonna help you is you. Because you know your wants, you know your dislikes. And if you don't know it yet, you gotta know it. Because trust me, later that's gonna build frustration that you don't know yourself yet. Another change I had to learn was, the funny part was, I had different taste in food, different sense of smell, how my body felt. My body goes to hot and cold, consistent. Um, when I sometimes with TBI I get like hella rings in my ears. It happens like nowhere, like if you do a flash grenade and I get hella rings. And I used to what's the word? I used to not let people know. I would just like throw big party events and stuff, and literally while my ears ring, you're trying to act all normal, like the, you know what I mean? But literally, I'm hurting inside, and sometimes you just gotta give yourself a break, man, and just do you. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's one change I had to, because I could say I like to be Mr. Entertainer, Mr. Uh, you know, like to be a good hostess and all that stuff, but you're not being a great host if you can't even host your own self, treat yourself right. So that's one change. I had to, I guess, I don't consider it selfish, but if I had to, the first word that comes to mind, because people think it's selfish to take care of you. It's fucking not, bro. Sometimes you gotta tell people, I can't, not today. I'm doing me. Took me until I was like, I think like 23 years old to start realizing that. And now, because I've been through so much bullshit in my life, and some people who didn't accept the caring person I was and took advantage of that. Now I'm just like, I'm doing me. And whoever's watching this, there's nothing wrong with that. And that right there, it took me a long time to accept that change. Um, Another change I guess I would talk about right now is this gonna sound interesting, but it's just the truth. So let's say me having a random conversation, right? Um, I used to hate crime, and both TBI sometimes like literally we'll be talking, right? And random material just come down. It was the most weird shit to me. I was hella embarrassed about that. Um, that took me a long time just to be in my emotion. It's a you don't want to be too emotional, but there was, because after my brain surgery, I held that shit in. So for so many years, I feel like my body, my spirit, my chakra was just like done and started releasing stuff. But a legit TBI side effect, you get like you start tearing up for no reason. You just gotta accept that. You gotta communicate to your team so they know you're okay. You know what I mean? Because now I'm thinking about it. I remember my homeboys would be like, "Yo, you okay? You okay, my guy?" And I was, or I wasn't. But I just didn't communicate. I was just more like I would literally like look at TV and just like tears coming down. I can't explain it in the sense. It just sometimes it happens, or sometimes there is something that's bothering you, but you just don't have the emotions to talk about it. And just say, "Hey, I'll talk to you later about it." I guess what I'm trying to come at, if you're gonna have people that you love around you and want to understand, you gotta be full communicative. But I will be making more videos, trying to think about how do I start this process again. But much love and Taz out, and small little stories about me and my TBI progress. And it's okay to be you. And I'm putting myself out there because I don't want people to be afraid because you have TBI. And it's a hell of a change, but changes happen, my man, my dude, whoever you are. My ladies, the queens out there, whoever has TBI, just know someone understands. Much love, and Taz out.